up by wrapping up here. So at this hour of the day, I think you, certainly having been involved in organising, you begin immediately to reflect on what was, what went well. I'm taking 10 out of 10. I chose Siobhan as our last presenter because I knew she'd bring an energy and a vivaciousness to the occasion. So thank you very much, Siobhan, for wrapping us up on such an energetic presentation. So I think last year the conference that was held over in the Westwood, that I know a number of you were at, it really was for us, probably marking the baseline of where PPI was for a number of people who were coming to it for the first time. I think it's amazing how much in the past year or two the awareness of and the interest in and the amount of people engaging in public and patient involvement has grown. It really has been a very significant growth. A lot of it contributed by the HRB, not just the PPI Ignite call, but embedding it into grant applications and so on. And I think on the public side, because researchers are thinking more about it, there is a greater awareness among the public, and even in terms of the interest in today's conference was significantly more queries and visitors than we had last year. So I think that's all very good. I think the message from today really is that PPI takes many forms, and I think for us all it's a case of don't agonise over what's the best. Let's just get started and do it. One of the earlier speakers mentioned I can't remember the exact words, but don't let perfection kill, getting started. I think that very much has to be a message that we would take away. In the workshops around after lunch, there was a lot of different topics covered, and I think probably the one I was at here was very well captured by Sharon, where she used the word, it was about ethics in PPI, and really what we had there were energised thinkers with honest and insightful considerations and providing possible solutions to the ethical issues of PPI. So using the forum today to think about the various ethical issues, but there's a lot more work to be done in that area. I think it's important that we share best practice, and today obviously is a great opportunity for that, but I think going forward from here there's a huge responsibility on us all and an emphasis from all those who are already been there about the importance of making resources available, making it easy to do PPI, both for the researcher and the lay participant, and there has been a lot of good work done to date here and elsewhere, so it's important to share that. And I think the message that came through very strongly from Dennis, our singer, was that for lay people, that you do make a difference, and it is about collaboration, and that the lay voice needs to be heard, not to be left out in the cold, and that the lay person has a huge contribution to make. So I think all remains for me to do now this evening is to thank all of you for coming. I think there's been some really good dialogue, and I know at the coffee breaks and so on, connections made. Particular thanks to all who presented and who facilitated the workshops. And if I have to single out, I'll say in particular the members of the public and the patients. I think something that has come across very much to me is this is our forum. Standing up here with PowerPoint presentations is what researchers do. I think for public and patients, we have to find a middle ground, and this isn't necessarily a middle ground. So I really appreciate those who did step into our world today. It's not easy. Mentioning in particular Breda Kelleher, that most of you have dealt with, and anybody who did got here on time in the right place, and for all the organisation and the efficiency with which the registrations and everything to do with the organisation here worked. We were supported in, yes, thank you very much. We were supported in organising it with Sandra in the HRB TMRN and with IPOSI. I think that is a good mix as well. And thanks to the various people who helped us here, Dan, Sharon, Emily, Quiva, and our two transition year students who were going up and down with the mics, Donal and Nell. So finally, just to say, I'm delighted for those of us who are suckers for punishment. There's a national group led by Fionnuala Keane and Derek Mitchell of PPI people. We're having a meeting at 4 o'clock in this building. But I think it's really great that this event ties in with a group like that. It's not very often that people with an interest in PPI can get together, and I think that whole idea of combining forces is very good. So a big thank you to Cormac Staunton from Staunton Media for the live streaming, and we will be making the presentations available on our website early next week. So thanks to Cormac for that, and to the people from Friars Catering in NUI Galway for the lunches. So it just remains for me to wish you all a safe journey home. I know some of you have travelled distances. Really appreciate you coming, and to look forward to collaborating with you going forward on the whole area of PPI. Oh, I forgot. I have been asked to mention in particular, on the 25th of May, here in NUI Galway, the Bioethics Ireland are having a talk by Dr. Donal O'Mahuna from DCU on bioethics. Somebody just asked me to mention that in particular. You'll see notices around it. So, Chile, Godarian Thalib Dolawalya, Agus Bemidon Asharish, Loiganella. Slán live.